Chinese scientists have announced their development of the most powerful quantum computer in the world. It works 100 trillion times faster than the fastest supercomputers out there. President Xi Jinping has said research and development in quantum science is an urgent matter of national concern, and the country has invested heavily in this technology, spending billions in recent years. It has become a world leader in the field.
To the untrained eye, it may not look like much, but this is now the world's most powerful computer. 20 years in the making, Zhuzheng is the brainchild of China's top scientists, who are now asserting their dominance in the race for quantum supremacy. Zhuzheng has shown outstanding quantum computational capability. We are planning to use it for quantum chemistry research and graph theories combinatorics research. It comes little more than a year after Google unveiled Sycamore, their own quantum computer.
Google researchers have achieved an incredible breakthrough in quantum computing.
Their machine needed seconds to perform tasks which conventional systems would require thousands of years to do. The Chinese team say their light-based technique is 10 billion times faster than Google's.
It's a remarkable achievement. It's a milestone in the development of these intermediate-scale quantum computers.
It is still early days, but scientists hope their achievement will lead to the technology unlocking rapid advancements in encryption and pharmaceutical analysis.
We have Dimitris Angelakis, a scientist with the Center for Quantum Technologies, and Alex Capri of the Hinrich Foundation. Both are joining us from Singapore. Dimitris, I want to start with you. Why does this news out of China matter?
Well, it matters because it's a massive scientific breakthrough, first of all. And being a scientist, I have to highlight that. It's the first time, or actually the second time to be exact, that we have a quantum computer, a prototype quantum computer, clearly outperforming classical computers. First time was last year in the Google labs in Santa Barbara, and this is the second time using a very different technology based on photons that a similar experiment has been made.
Now, how will the use of this technology impact people's lives? Dimitris?
Well, we are talking about a completely different way of computing impossible things to compute classically. So, although this demonstration has not achieved that, it's a mathematical problem. The problem has been solved. If you had a classical computer to do that, it would take a few millions or hundreds of thousands of years. Further down the line, we hope that quantum computing will allow us to do impossible problems these days in biology, in drug design, in financial optimization, in route optimization, and environment as well. So at the moment, we don't have the computational power to tackle these very important problems that affect society in very different ways, including what we're living through drug design these days.
Very interesting. I'm going to turn to Alex. The Chinese government has funneled a lot of money into scientific research. Why is that?
Well, look, this is part of a much broader techno-nationalist approach to advancing Chinese interests when it comes to economics, national security, obviously geopolitics. This is a major priority, whether we're talking about the Made in China 2025 plan. Semiconductors, of course, is big. Quantum computing is an area, obviously, they've been putting a lot of money into. So this is a very important aspect of the overall trajectory that the Chinese Communist Party is striving for.
Dimitris, from a scientific perspective, is this China's Sputnik moment? There's been so much news going on. I kind of feel as if this quantum development kind of got lost amidst all the COVID stuff and everything. But should we be paying more attention to this from a scientific perspective?
That's a very good question, Melissa. It is in a sense. It is in a sense. And now Sputnik is out there. It doesn't do much. It just blips. But it is there. Again, it's not the first time. Google in the West has done it first, and many other scientific labs around the world are working towards the same demonstration of an impossible task for classical computers. It will take us time before we go from this blip that the Sputnik was doing to something like video calls by the satellites, and if I want to do the analogy, to the space race. But we are entering, and already there, the quantum race in that sense. In many different,
Ian, well, one thing that I'm trying to wrap my head around is just how much bigger of a quantum leap this Chinese development has been compared to the Google one. One of the things that I've been reading is that actually the Google one wasn't really quite it didn't count somehow. Help us sort of get a sense of just how much more technologically advanced this development has been.
Well, I wouldn't say it's more technologically advanced. It's different. This is based on photons. The Google one was based on superconducting qubits, very different technologies. At the moment, we don't know, the field is so early stages, we don't know which one will really be the final technology that will implement quantum computing. I would put it at equal footing in a sense. Billions of years versus 10,000 years in the Google, that's kind of the projected thing. But on the other hand, the Chinese one was not reprogrammable. You cannot really adjust it the way it is to run different algorithms except this specific problem. So I would say both are really equally exciting for the field, definitely from the scientific side.
Alex, Demetrius has walked us through some of the applications of this technology. What is the perspective of this from someone like you who studies techno-nationalism and the competition we're seeing between the U.S. and China? And what is techno-nationalism?
Well, look, techno-nationalism is essentially when nation states ascribe the power and the prowess, if you will, of their local firms, their local champions, if you will, to national security, economic stability and strength, and social stability as well. So we're seeing all three of those in this emerging U.S.-China technology hybrid Cold War. So I think, I would go back to say that to put the Sputnik moment in historical context, the United States Soviet Union, I would think that Sputnik moment would be a bit more significant. To jump forward now to this announcement that we've just had from the Chinese, I think the reverse of that is going to be a second moonshot, which has really been underway, right? I think the United States now and its European allies and other allies are now going to start focusing on greater emphasis on R&D, greater emphasis on public-private partnerships around making progress with all the industries that are emerging and foundational for this next century. So I think there really is there's significance in that it'll be a catalyst for that. Right. But I wouldn't call this a historic moment in the context of Sputnik.
Alex, the Pentagon, through the research arm DARPA, launched a program to advance quantum computing earlier this year. It feels a little bit behind the curve, considering the development that we've just seen. How would you assess the U.S.-China sort of technological race that we're seeing, Alex?
So what we will see, Melissa, is we will see more and more R&D be shifted under the military-industrial complex. So stuff that might have been happening at R&D that might have been taking place exclusively at companies and maybe at universities and specialized institutions, you will see more of that being shifted under the military sort of tent, if you will.
Demetrius Angelakis and Alex Capri, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.